The 13th century was a period of immense upheaval in Anatolia. This region, known for its rich history and strategic importance, found itself at the crossroads of empires and cultures. Once the heartland of the Byzantine Empire, the region was thrown into disarray by the arrival of a new power from the east, the Mongols. The Byzantine influence had already been waning, but the Mongol invasion accelerated the decline. Under Genghis Khan and his successors, the Mongol Empire had swept across Asia, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. Their military prowess and strategic brilliance were unmatched, and their conquests were swift and brutal. In 1243, they defeated the Seljuk Sultanate of Rum at the Battle of Kosei Dagh, shattering the Seljuk state and paving the way for a new era in Anatolian history. This battle was a turning point, marking the end of Seljuk dominance in the region. The Mongol victory had profound consequences. The once unified Seljuk Sultanate was now in disarray, its territories fragmented and its power diminished. The aftermath of the battle left the region in a state of chaos and uncertainty. The Seljuk Sultanate, weakened by internal strife even before the invasion, fragmented into a patchwork of independent principalities known as beyliks. These beyliks were often small and fiercely independent, each vying for control and influence. These beyliks, often centered on fortified towns or strategically important regions, competed for resources and dominance. The constant struggle for power created a volatile and unstable political landscape. While the Mongols themselves did not directly rule Anatolia, they exerted considerable influence, exacting tribute and interfering in local politics. Their presence was a constant reminder of the threat they posed, and local leaders had to navigate this complex relationship carefully. This period of fragmentation and uncertainty created the conditions for the emergence of a new power, the Ottoman Beylik. The Ottomans, starting as a small principality, would eventually rise to fill the power vacuum left by the Seljuks. The collapse of Seljuk authority left a power vacuum in its wake. Ambitious leaders saw an opportunity to expand their influence and control, leading to a period of intense competition and conflict. Into this void stepped ambitious local leaders, each seeking to carve out their own domains. These leaders were often skilled warriors and shrewd politicians, capable of navigating the complex and dangerous political landscape of the time. These were turbulent times, marked by shifting alliances, constant warfare, and the ever-present threat of Mongol intervention. The political landscape was in a constant state of flux, with alliances forming and breaking as leaders sought to gain the upper hand. It was in this crucible of conflict that the Ottoman dynasty would forge its destiny, rising from humble beginnings to establish an empire that would endure for centuries. The Ottomans' ability to adapt and thrive in this chaotic environment set the stage for their future success. The disintegration of the Seljuk Sultanate of Rum led to the emergence of numerous beyliks, each vying for supremacy in the aftermath of Mongol devastation. These beyliks, often named after their founding families, represented a diverse array of Turkish groups that had migrated to Anatolia in the preceding centuries. Some, like the Karamanids and the Gurmianids, controlled substantial territories and posed significant challenges to their neighbors. Among these nascent principalities, the Ottoman Beylik initially occupied a relatively small and obscure corner of Anatolia. Situated in the region of Bithynia, bordering the Byzantine Empire, the Ottomans were ideally positioned to take advantage of the fluid political situation. Their founder, Osman III, inherited a small but strategically important territory from his father, Ertugrul. From this modest base, Osman and his successors would embark on a remarkable campaign of expansion, gradually uniting the fragmented beyliks under their banner. The beylik system, while born out of chaos, played a crucial role in shaping the political landscape of Anatolia. It fostered a culture of military competition and expansionism, as each bey sought to secure his own position and enlarge his domain. The Ottomans, though initially one among many, proved particularly adept at navigating this complex and often treacherous environment. Through a combination of military prowess, shrewd diplomacy, and an ideology that resonated with the times, they would ultimately transcend their beylik origins and establish themselves as the dominant power in the region. Osman I, the eponymous founder of the Ottoman dynasty, remains a figure shrouded in legend and historical conjecture. His life and achievements have been the subject of many tales, some of which blend myth with reality, making it challenging to separate fact from fiction. While precise details of his life are scarce, his legacy as the architect of Ottoman success is undeniable. He is credited with transforming a small, obscure principality into a formidable power that would eventually dominate much of the known world. Born into a time of profound change and upheaval, Osman inherited a small beylik on the frontiers of the collapsing Byzantine Empire. This period was marked by the fragmentation of larger empires and the rise of smaller, more agile states. Surrounded by powerful neighbors and facing the ever-present threat of Mongol incursions, he nonetheless managed to lay the foundations for a dynasty that would endure for centuries. His ability to navigate these treacherous waters speaks volumes about his strategic genius and resilience. Osman's leadership was characterized by a combination of military acumen, political shrewdness, and a deep commitment to the Ghazi spirit. His military strategies were innovative, often employing guerrilla tactics and leveraging the terrain to his advantage. The term Ghazi, meaning warrior or holy raider, denoted a fighter who dedicated himself to the expansion of Islam. This concept was not just a religious duty, but also a social and economic one, as it promised both spiritual rewards and material gains. This ethos, deeply rooted in the history of Turkish migrations into Anatolia, resonated powerfully with the turbulent spirit of the age. The Ghazi warriors were seen as both protectors and conquerors, embodying the dual spirit of defense and expansion. Osman attracted a loyal following of warriors eager to fight for faith and plunder, forming the nucleus of the nascent Ottoman army. These warriors were not just soldiers, but also settlers, helping to establish Ottoman control over newly conquered territories. Osman's reign marked the transition from a small frontier beylik to a nascent state with imperial ambitions. His vision extended beyond mere survival. He aimed for expansion and consolidation, setting the stage for future conquests. He understood the importance of forging alliances, often through strategic marriages, to strengthen his position and undermine his rivals. These alliances were crucial in creating a network of support that would prove invaluable in times of conflict. He also recognized the strategic value of his beylik's location on the Byzantine frontier, launching a series of raids and conquests that gradually expanded Ottoman territory at the expense of the weakening empire. These raids were not just military actions, but also psychological warfare, weakening the resolve of his enemies. By the time of his death in 1326, Osman had laid the groundwork for his successors to transform the Ottoman beylik into a regional power. His legacy is a testament to his vision, leadership, and the enduring spirit of the Ghazi warriors who followed him. The Ottoman beylik's geographic location proved to be a decisive factor in its rise to prominence. Nestled in the region of Bithynia in northwestern Anatolia, the Ottomans found themselves at a crossroads of civilizations where east met west. This unique position allowed them to interact with a variety of cultures, economies, and military strategies, which they would later incorporate into their own expanding empire. Situated in Bithynia in northwestern Anatolia, the Ottomans occupied a strategically vital position on the frontiers of the Byzantine Empire. This location not only provided them with a buffer against other potential threats, but also placed them in an ideal spot to launch incursions into Byzantine territory. The Byzantine Empire, once a formidable power, had been severely weakened by internal strife, economic decline, and the ravages of the Fourth Crusade. The Crusaders' sack of Constantinople in 1204 had left the empire fragmented and vulnerable, creating opportunities for ambitious neighbors. Its once impenetrable defenses were crumbling, presenting an irresistible target for ambitious neighbors like the Ottomans. The weakened state of Byzantine fortifications made it easier for the Ottomans to penetrate and establish footholds within the empire's borders. The Ottomans took full advantage of their proximity to Byzantine territory, launching a series of raids and conquests that gradually chipped away at the empire's shrinking borders. These raids were not just military exercises, but also served to demoralize the Byzantine populace and weaken their resolve. The fertile plains and wealthy towns of Byzantine Anatolia offered tempting prizes for Osman's Ghazi warriors, providing both loot and land to fuel further expansion. These resources were crucial in sustaining the Ottoman war machine and attracting more followers to their cause. Moreover, the Ottomans' position on the frontier allowed them to attract a steady stream of recruits, Turkish soldiers and adventurers seeking fortune and glory under the banner of jihad. This influx of manpower was essential for the Ottomans to maintain their momentum and continue their conquests. The Ottomans' westward expansion brought them into contact with the rich and sophisticated culture of Byzantium. This interaction was not solely based on conflict. It also included periods of trade and cultural exchange, which enriched both societies. While the two states were often locked in bitter conflict, there were also periods of peaceful coexistence, trade, and even cultural exchange. These interactions allowed the Ottomans to learn and adopt various aspects of Byzantine culture, which would later influence their own empire. The Ottomans learned much from their Byzantine neighbors, adopting aspects of their administrative practices, military technology, and courtly culture. This process of learning and adaptation was crucial in their transformation from a band of frontier warriors into a sophisticated and organized state. This process of assimilation and adaptation would prove crucial in transforming the Ottomans from a band of frontier warriors into the rulers of a vast and sophisticated empire. Their ability to integrate and innovate based on what they learned from their neighbors set the stage for their future dominance in the region.